Today, I'm going over a promising animal study on neuron growth and increased memory as observed in lab rats who have consumed lion's mane. And I'm hoping to summarize it well so that you don't have to read it. The study is from 2023, was conducted by a team of researchers at Queensland Brain Institute in Australia, published in the Journal of Neurochemistry. The team took lion's mane and extracted it in a nearly identical method, actually, to what we do to produce our tincture at Yamabushi Farms. They took the pure fruiting body of lion's mane, so just the part that you see, the white hairy part, and extracted it with ethanol and water, which is the same process that we used. And then they didn't recombine the parts, which we do in our tincture, because they evaluated the compounds separately. So the outcomes were really interesting. The first was in the first experiment, it was a neuron growth experiment. They used individual neurons extracted from rats and exposed them to lion's mane culture versus a control. And then the results of that were the lion's mane exposed neurons showed double axon length. And I'll show a picture of an axon here. 3 times as many neurites, which are dendrites or projections, which are the part of the neuron that help neurons connect to one another after 24 hours of exposure to the lion's mane extract. So they grew a ton. And in addition, they showed growth of 2 to 5 times average increase. So basically, what that means is the growth cones on the end really enlarged, which is a good sign for just overall growth of the neuron. In the behavioral part of the experiment, the mice who consumed lion's mane showed significantly increased levels of true neurotrophins that are proven to lead to increased synapse formation and neuron survival, which can both enhance memory, which is one of the things that I take lions for. I find it helps with my memory a lot. The mice were also tested in mazes and at recognizing objects. Basically, they put them in a maze, and then for the object recognition test, they had time to investigate a new object versus an existing object. It was like how much time they spent on the new object versus whether they remembered the old objects. And those who had consumed lion's mane showed statistically better. So that's a really good sign too. Overall, despite being an animal study, super promising in terms of how lion's mane can really help with neuron growth and the impact on memory that it can have. Obviously, still in the rat population, but I think it's I'll show in other studies that it extrapolates to humans pretty well too. Now we just need to look at some more human trials and see how those worked out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about lion's mane studies over the next few weeks to discuss the benefits we've seen observed in lab studies of lion's mane in the last few years. Subscribe for more, and if you want to try lion's mane,